Hey, Christina.
Hey, Doug.
How are you, baby?
Fine, how are you?
Were you suffering from hitch itch? Oh, look, you were itching your back. Is that what hitch itch looks like?
Yes and no. Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah.
Gonna miss the weather.
Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Douglas.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Are you a little bit frustrated?
A little stressed.
That little red dog caused you a lot of frustration this
A
morning?
little bit.
So I'd like to take a moment this morning while I have you as a captive audience. Excuse me. It's 7 a.m., folks. We're still adjusting. Yeah. So how is this working out at the campground with work camping for about half the week and then being home for about half the week?
I think it's working out pretty good.
Has it caused you any extra work?
Yeah, there's extra work in it, but it's
Explain to people what the extra work would be.
well, when we're leaving the campground for any length of time, I don't want to leave food in the refrigerator, so it may mean lugging food back and forth from home to the camper. I usually bring our dirty clothes with us, so we do laundry at home, so it's always lugging laundry, lugging extra things like dog food, if need be, medicine, just stuff like that that you have to just try to remember.
So, explain now that we're in a routine what our schedule looks like.
So we usually work from, well, one of us starts working at 7:45 on Saturday morning, and so we have to be there before that. So typically I have to work at 7:45, so we leave at 7 at the latest. It takes us about half an hour to get there. And once we get to the campground, I'll help you lug stuff in and then go to work. And you don't usually have to go to work till 11.
11.
So that kind of works out good.
And then you get done when?
Today I get done at 5.
I thought you said 4.
No, on
It's 5 today?
Saturdays are 5.
Okay.
I'm in activities today after kitchen.
So activities. What do you do in activities?
I do whatever they tell me I have to do.
So
They
do you have
have
to
a-
pick the activity? Or is it
No,
already
not
picked
at
for
this
you?
point. It's already picked.
So what have you done
I
so
find out
far?
this morning what we do. I don't even know ahead of time.
Okay.
So we've done slime. We've done painting pet rocks. We always do tie-dyeing.
Oh, you always do
We always do
tie-dye.
tie-dyeing, and we always do painting ceramics. There's just that one activity in the middle that...
I don't know what's wrong with Roxy. She has to go to the bathroom or something. Well, she's just laying down now.
Just anxious?
She's been very anxious. The whole time we've been in the car, she's been anxious. You okay, Rox? Roxy the Wonder Dog? Roxy's Addison's disease has been flared up. Not doing that good. She
So we
was doing really good before.
We usually work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then Tuesday after work, we head home.
Mm-hmm.
So we're home Tuesday night. So we usually have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as full days at home, and then leave Saturday morning again.
Mm-hmm. We have a beautiful day here in the Adirondacks, and it's supposed to be 90 today. And like 91 tomorrow is Father's Day.
Wow,
Yep.
that's crazy.
So I don't think it'll hit 90 where we are, up by Whiteface
No.
Mountain. It's usually a little cooler up that way and up near Lake Placid.
Maybe even in the 80s.
So your job, you're not always in activities.
No.
Describe some of the other departments that you've worked in so far.
I've worked in upstairs in the kitchen, which is where they serve breakfast. So I've worked a variety of jobs up there. And right now they serve breakfast Saturday and Sunday mornings from 8 to 10. If it's a holiday weekend, they include Monday, but I think starting next week, it's every day of the week.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I've worked in the office. Well, not really worked in the office. I just did some training in the office for the computer system. activities, housekeeping. That's what I've done so far.
And what do you think you like the best so far out of all the
I like the variety,
departments?
Actually, I don't really mind. I like kind of having something different to do every day. I think that if I was stuck in one department all the time, it would be boring. So I kind of just like the variety.
Have they given you any indication as to where you're going to settle down and perhaps the job that you'll have for the rest of the season?
I think it's going to, it sounds like maybe mainly the kitchen and the snack bar, but throw me into any other department that needs me, I guess.
So what do they call that job that you're doing now? What do they call you?
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Did they call it a floater?
A floater, I guess, yeah.
So you're multifaceted. You're cross-trained, as they say in the work camping business.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes you pretty valuable, though. And from another aspect, it makes it so you can add quite a few skills after this work camping assignment to your resume.
I
Right?
know how to fold a tight bed.
Is that the only thing you're going to be adding? You know how to fold a tight bed?
Let me tell you, it's not that easy.
Okay. Is that what you're going to start doing at
Bring
home?
you into housekeeping and have you just try it. It's
Oh.
back-breaking, actually.
Really?
Yeah, your back gets tired because you're picking up and moving, and yeah, it's just different.
So I think what a misconception can be for a lot of people, and I think it was for me, is when you go on Facebook, all these sites, these pages and everything, you read up about work camping, I think in your mind you think work camping is more like just having fun all the time. But there is that four-lettered word, work, that's included in the word work camping. And a lot of it's just plain hard work.
Well, tell them what you were doing the other day before we left on Tuesday.
It doesn't have the pressures of like a regular job, I don't find. And when I leave, I can just pretty much totally leave and don't really give it a second thought until it's time to go back to work. But it is definitely a lot of manual labor involved. And it could be a lot more menial work than what people are used to. If you had a high-paying job, especially, I can't imagine if you were like an executive or some kind of professional, and then you got into work camping, it's going to be humbling for you.
It's very humbling.
Because you're going to be asked to do things that you probably hadn't had to do in a long time, or in some cases, maybe you never had to do.
But it also, I don't know, there's a switch off as far as like the pressures of it, and you get it done and then it's done, and you don't have to like follow up when you get home, and you don't have to worry at home if you did this or that, or I don't know, like there are days I think that we both struggle with not having it be maybe a more meaningful job, but these are also people's vacations. And so it is a meaningful job, it's just in a different way. So
This is true. So, really making this video just to show people the different jobs that there is when you're work camping. So I'm just trying to think. I've been in maintenance the whole time, and I'm thinking of asking to be trained on the point of sale system, so I can put that down that I'm trained on that for the KOA point of sale system, because so far I've never had to use that. We used it at KOA, but they were on the old DOS system, and it's a actual web-based system now that they're using at this KOA.
K2.
K2? Okay. So I am going to ask to learn that. I think I'm going to try to find out if maybe I can work with you in the snack bar some. But I've been on maintenance. The biggest thing that I've learned to do on maintenance is, it'd been years since I drove a tractor. And I drove a tractor some working on a farm when I was a kid. And my father had a good sized John Deere tractor that I used to just not do a lot of work on, but would drive it sometimes.
He's got a little
So-
tractor now.
He's got a little tractor now, that's right. So I've gotten pretty decent on the tractor, doing different things. So I'll be putting that on my resume.
Hey, you got your own golf cart.
I got a golf cart. It's a beauty.
And I can say.
Works good. I have keys.
I don't.
I started a scraping project, like a kiddie pool. Looks like it might have been a fountain. I don't know. It's a fountain / kiddie pool now.
It's the fountain of youth.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't feeling very youthful after scraping on that thing for the whole day. The other day out in the hot sun. It almost pretty well got to me. The last hour of the day I didn't do much. I was just kind of waiting for calls from the office for escorts and wood deliveries and whatnot. What else? Picked up a lot of pine needles, pine cones, raking, mowing,
Things, haven't you? Like fences and stuff.
weed eating.
Do you ever do like maintenance in cabins and stuff?
I'm driving the hayride, tractor for the hayride.
6 o'clock.
That's tonight at 6 o'clock. So that's kind of fun, taking the people out for the hayride around the park. That's actually a bit of responsibility because you've got all these parents and kids and grandparents and stuff in a wagon and you're pulling it around the park with a tractor. A lot of escorts, helping people, helped a guy, assisted a guy in fixing his camper. We can't really go in and work on people's campers because of liabilities. So it's nice having the experience where you can help people. We've had campers for 30 years, probably.
Close to 30.
All different kinds, from pop-ups to motorhomes to travel trailers and now a big fifth wheel. So pretty well faceted in different things on campers, RVs, how the different components work.
You're always learning, right?
Always learning, always having to fix something, so it's all good practice. The schedules work good for us. They had me working every night for a while until 8 o'clock for like 2 weeks, and I went and talked to the girl and just told her I really don't like that schedule all the time. I'll do my fair share of the later schedule, and she actually changed the schedule for the following week that was already made out to accommodate us, or accommodate me.
They have been extremely accommodating.
They have been very accommodating. We really appreciate that.
It's a good group of people, I think. I feel like it's a good group of people that we're working with.
Yeah, everybody seems to get along, and I haven't really seen like hardly any conflicts or
There's
anything
a
like that. Most everybody's
Combination of locals and work campers too. It's kind of
Yeah.
neat combo.
quite a few of the locals are younger people, so they're working, and the work campers are mostly all older people. There's really not any younger people that are work campers there, is there? There's some locals that live in the campground that are not as old as most of us, but most people are like retirement age, close to retirement age, or well beyond retirement age. One thing I will talk about is I do think that work camping tends to keep people younger than if they retire and they sit on the recliner and their mind goes, and then they go physically because they're not having to do, they're not being challenged. They're not forcing themselves to do some of the things that we have to do when we're work camping. There's been a couple of instances where a fellow work camper will tell me how old they are, and I can't even believe it. There's a guy there right now that I can't believe how old he is when you see how this guy works and the things he can still do, and it's pretty amazing. But if he had stopped working and stopped doing all that stuff, I'll bet he couldn't still do it. And we worked with a guy in his 80s when we were at last summer, and you would have swore this guy was maybe in his 60s. So he was about 20 years older than any of us thought.
Even in Okeechobee, we've had some older couples that.
Yeah, another guy that I worked with.
Everywhere we've been.
He was amazing. And he just worked right along with the young people and do pretty much all the same jobs. Maybe you're not quite as agile, not quite as flexible. I can attest to that. You do
some
lose
people are just born that way.
some of your strength over the years, which I know I've lost some strength. But you just figure out other ways of getting things done. So I think if you do keep active, keep your mind active, to keep yourself physically involved and challenging yourself, it does tend to help with the aging process. So as you can see, we are now going through Keene, New York. We have an absolutely gorgeous commute from home to our work camping job. And we've timed it, it takes about 25 minutes. We're in Christina's Solara convertible. We've had this car for, what, over 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's an 04, we got an 07. So I think 11 years we've had this car. Almost 235,000 miles, and I just waxed it yesterday. And we've got one rust spot that's right up over the windshield right here, and we've already had it fixed once, but it's all bubbling up again, and we're gonna have to take care of that. But the car overall is in really good shape, but it will be needing a top here pretty soon. So is there any parting words on your part, my dear?
You know, just thinking, maybe want to just say the reason why we're staying at the campground is because the commute really isn't that bad. It's half an hour, but our hours sometimes are opposite, and we bring one vehicle out, and sometimes we work early sometimes in the morning, so it just makes it easier the 4 days that we're on just to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have to pay to be there, but it's a pretty minimal amount that it just makes sense to.
Yeah.
And with the dogs and everything, you know, we can let them out more during the day and take them for a walk and all that. So, because people, I'm sure, will be like, well, if it's only half an hour, why don't you just go back and forth every day?
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say, we're working for corporate KOA, and this is our second one. This winter we were in Okeechobee, Florida. Now we're in Lake Placid, Whiteface Mountain, New York. They all pretty much have the same deal. You get paid for all the hours worked, and it's probably going to be close to whatever your state's minimum wage is, which in our case, we came to New York and we got like a $2 an hour raise. Because the minimum wage was that much higher than it was in Florida. But we're only charged $150 a month for our site. And we don't have a phone bill. We don't have a cable bill. We don't have a water bill. We don't have electricity. That's a big thing. So what we're paying per month is probably about what that stuff would cost. Well, cable, it probably costs you more than that with the cable. You get like 50 channels up there. So it's really not a bad deal. We have a little bit of a disadvantage over the fact that we still have a house, so we still have some constant bills as far as that goes. Thank God it's paid for. We don't have a mortgage. Because I don't know, there's no way you could do it with a mortgage trying to do this. You'd just be down to your camper, be in your house. But that's fine too. I mean, we do have extra responsibilities because we have a house. And when we get home for those 3 days, a lot of times we're working most of the time.
Yep.
But our house was just never 100% complete. So a lot of this stuff, it's given us time to go home and complete some of the tasks that just never got done. And a lot of it's smaller stuff. Put up a light fixture yesterday, and would have put up two, had to drain the hot tub to get the ladder where it has to go to put up a spotlight, light up the whole backyard. And I've started buying and flipping vehicles again, which I really do enjoy. And so Andy our son ended up buying the Avalon. You okay?
Yeah, just sorry, I'm trying to wake up.
So I was planning on making some extra money, but that is a way that we make money. I have a motorcycle for sale right now that I bought and thought that I might be reselling it. And I'm always watching Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist for the next deal, and something that we can possibly do a little bit of work on and clean up and make a little bit of extra profit. That's what it's all about. Huh? Hopefully. Have I ever gone wrong so far? Got a pretty good track record. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you for listening to us this morning, and hopefully this has been enlightening for anybody thinking of getting into the whole work camping thing. It's been very enjoyable for us.
The Adirondacks are a great place to work too, by the way.
Yes, they are.
So,
I have no regrets that we got into this. You have any regrets?
no.
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 And what's going to be happening in the next couple of days, hopefully?
Hopefully we get a grandbaby.
We're supposed to be getting our first grandchild. Woo!
We're waiting. She's waiting patiently.
What's the date today?
Today's her due date.
Today is her due date.
It's the 16th of June.
She was at the house all afternoon yesterday. She's very uncomfortable. And she's ready to have this baby anytime.
Yeah.
So let's hope it happens soon.
Waiting for a phone call.
Okay. So we will wrap this up with showing you just how beautiful it is here on the river. I don't know if you can see the river over there now.
Yeah,
This whole part of this ride, you're right on the Ausable River. So have a great day, folks. So Christina had a good point after I thought I wrapped up this little episode about work camping responsibilities and arrangements. So what was that bright idea you had, Christina?
The bright idea I
So
had
Christina
was that if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to just put them in the comment and we'll try to answer it.
I was going to say, we won't answer it, but you can put it in the comments.
No, we will try to answer it as best as possible. Hopefully we know the answer. So, comment, any questions?
Like,
Subscribe.
share, and most importantly,
Subscribe.